Hello again. Welcome to another topic for the hospitality and hospitality intelligence and analytics course. In this video, we are going to talk about human resources analytics. Uh, Hospitality is one of the most people-dependent industries in the world. Unlike industries where automation can replace humans, hospitality business is based on the human interaction. It doesn't matter if it's a front desk welcoming guest, chef crafting a memorable dining experience, or housekeeper ensuring a room meets the highest standards. Uh, Quality of service is directly connected to workforce, so making HR decisions is a critical factor. Uh, if you don't manage workforce correctly the way it's supposed to be, even the most luxurious hotel or most innovative restaurant can have problems maintaining service quality. So let's start with the what are the human resource related issues in hospitality. First one is the high turnover. One of the biggest challenges actually in hospitality is the employee turnover. People come and go at a rate higher than in many other industries. In some cases, businesses struggle with turnover rates exceeding 70% annually. This is a costly problem. When employees leave, companies have to spend money on recruiting, training, and onboarding new staff. In addition, high turnover disrupts team dynamics and negatively affects service quality. So, HR analytics hopefully helps organization to understand why employees leave, identify patterns, and maybe develop targeted retaining strategies to reduce turnover rates. Another defining characteristic of hospitality and tourism business is it is a highly diverse workforce. Uh, Employees often come from different cultural backgrounds, nationalities, and languages. Uh, while diversity can be a strength, bringing fresh perspectives and enriching workplace culture, because diversity could benefit in that side, but on the other hand, it presents challenges in like for example in communication, team cohesion, and management. uh, HR analytics might be able to help this understanding workforce demographics, measure inclusion efforts, and ensure that workplace policies support a diverse work environment. Uh, Now, one other thing is hospitality is evolving, and with that evolution comes a demand for new skills. Whether it's a digital literacy for online booking system, specialized culinary expertise, or like adapting the lately to an AI-driven world. There is always a skills gap to address. In some cases, businesses struggle to find uh, qualified candidates for key roles. So HR analytics might be able to companies to identify skill shortages, predict future training needs, and design development programs that keep this workforce in competitive in a fast changing industry. Uh, what is HR analytics? Um, HR analytics involves systematic collection, analysis, and application of workforce related data to improve organizations and decision making, and of course the outcomes. If you look at the scope of the HR analytics, the first step in workplace management is the hiring the right people, right? So recruitment. HR analytics helps organization to optimize job postings, predict which candidates will be best fit, and also improve the onboarding process to ensure new hires integrate smoothly into the team. Instead of guessing, businesses can use data to streamline recruitment and reduce hiring mistakes. Because if you hire the wrong person, it's not going to end up well. It's going to create other issues and problems as well. Now, well-trained workforce is a productive workforce. HR Analytics evaluates the effectiveness of training programs, development programs, by linking them to measurable outcomes. I mean, it could be such as guest satisfaction scores, employee retention, or operational efficiency, whatever you want to be improved. These measurements ensures that training isn't just an expense, but an investment that leads to real improvements in the company. Now, if you look at the performance analysis, how do you know which employees are excelling and which ones need support? So HR Analytics might able to track performance metrics at both individual and team levels, identifying strengths, weaknesses, and areas for improvement. So, like for example, this could mean analyzing service speed at a restaurant, guest feedback on hotel staff, or efficiency in housekeeping tasks, for example, right? Of course, the million-dollar question once again: why do employees leave? And more importantly, how can we get them to stay? Turnover is a major issue in hospitality, but HR Analytics helps uncover patterns, like whether it's that dissatisfaction with pay, lack of career growth, or work-life balance issues. The idea here is you need to understand the factors behind the employee turnover, and you can create or you can implement targeted retention strategies, and also reduce hiring costs, and that's improve workforce stability as well. Next thing is hospitality businesses must be prepared for fluctuating demand, right? Weekends, holidays, peak seasons require more staff, while off-peak times require careful scheduling to avoid overstaffing. But you don't want to also give them a few hours to employers, so you give them the reason to leave. So workforce planning analytics uses usually historical data, of course, to predict demand and align staffing accordingly. Hopefully this helps the operation to run smoothly without unnecessary labor costs. Happy employees deliver better service. That's well-known fact. HR Analytics tracks employee satisfaction level through surveys, feedback tools, and sentiment analysis. Using these, you can identify the factors that contribute to engagement and motivation of employees. Motivated workforce is not only more productive, but also more likely to provide positive guest experiences. Health, safety, and well-being is also very important. Hospitality industry is demanding, both physically and mentally. Long shifts, high pressure environment, and physically intensive tasks, like you stay all day and you stand all day, this kind of things. And HR Analytics helps organizations monitor absenteeism, stress levels, and workplace safety incidents. So considering these and other factors, you can able to design maybe wellness programs that improve the employees' well-being and reduce burnout. And finally, fair and competitive compensation is key to attracting and retaining top talent. HR Analytics evaluates pay structures, benefit packages, and employee satisfaction with compensation to ensure that businesses remain competitive while staying, of course, within the budget. Well-structured compensation plan, considering many of these factors, can help businesses to reduce turnover and improve employee loyalty. In short, HR Analytics covers every stage of the employee life cycle, from hiring to retirement. When applied effectively, HR Analytics doesn't just improve operation, but also drives the overall success of your business. Now, we talked about the scope of HR Analytics in previous slide and already gave some examples, but let's break down the HR Analytics in a way that affect the business outcomes. First is the enhances hiring and onboarding process. Hiring the right people isn't just about filling positions. It's about finding individuals who will be successful in the role and stay with the company. HR analytics helps businesses refine their hiring process by identifying patterns in successful hires. For example, which recruitment channels bring in the best candidates? What traits are common among employees who stay long term? You look at all the long term employees and what kind of traits they have. With analytics, hiring managers can predict candidate success, optimize job postings, and streamline onboarding process. So hopefully the result is going to be lower turnover rates and more engaged workforce from the day one. And from the training perspective, not all training programs deliver equal results. Some workshops may boost employee performance while others may be ineffective. So HR analytics allow business to measure training impact by linking to real outcomes. Like, for example, does a customer service training program lead to higher guest satisfaction score, right? Or do employees who complete leadership training have lower turnover rates? I mean, you can track all those metrics. Also, every business has top performance and employees who may need extra support. So HR analytics provides a data-driven way to assess workforce performance rather than relying on subjective evaluations. By analyzing key performance indicators such as task completion rates, guest feedback, employee engagement levels, businesses can identify who is excelling in their job and who may need additional support, additional training. As we mentioned earlier, the turnover is a major issue in hospitality, but it is not inevitable. So instead of reacting to employee departures, businesses can use HR analytics to predict and prevent them. For example, you can look at the exit interview data, engagement score, job satisfaction surveys. When you look at these, you can try to identify early warning signs of employee dissatisfaction. This is a basic example, but for example, if data shows that employees who leave often cite scheduling conflicts, you can maybe introduce some more flexible shift options. Overstaffing also leads to unnecessary labor costs. Understaffing leads to burnout and poor service. So finding the right balance is key, and HR analytics may help enable to help with this kind of workforce planning and scheduling. So by analyzing historical data, guest demand patterns, and employee availability, business can create optimal schedules to ensure efficient approach without overloading the staff. At its core, HR analytics transform workforce management from guesswork into a science. When businesses use data to drive HR decisions, they create stronger teams, improve service quality, and ultimately enhance the guest experience. I'm going to go a little bit quickly on this, but HR analytics has come a long way, right? In the past, HR decisions were based largely on intuition experience. Today, data-driven insights allow human resource professionals to be proactive rather than reactive. The evolution of HR analytics can be understood in four stages, but I'm not going to go into detail. I don't want to spend that much time on this, but basically, HR analytics has evolved from simple reporting to sophisticated AI-driven decision making. For example, right now we are doing some research about the effect of AI in the employee recruitment in our industry. In the end, if hospitality tourism industries embrace these advancements, they can make smarter workforce decisions, enhance employee satisfaction, and ultimately deliver better guest experiences. So future of HR isn't just about managing people, but it's about optimizing human potential and understanding them through the data and business analytics. So to improve anything, you first need to measure it, right? If you cannot measure it, you cannot control it. So that's where key performance indicator KPIs come in hand. Like in HR analytics, KPIs provide quantifiable insights into workforce performance in order to help organizations to identify challenges, measure progress, and of course make data-driven decisions. Now, we're going to look at the sum of the, once again, I'm repeating many times, these are some of the KPIs in human resources and hospitality. First one is the time to hire. This metric tracks the number of days it takes to fill a vacant position, from job posting to onboarding a new hire. Shorter time to hire usually means more efficient recruitment process, reducing the risk of staff shortages. Of course, this could impact the service quality. So, considering in our industry where turnover is high, minimizing hiring time ensures operational continuity. Next one is the cost per hire. Hiring isn't just about speed, it's also about cost effectiveness. Cost per hire includes expenses like job advertisements, recruiter salaries, interview processes, and onboarding programs, and many other things associated with the hiring. You need to measure this, you need to track these metrics to optimize recruitment spending while maintaining quality hires. Next one is the employee turnover rate. Like, once again, turnover is one of the biggest challenges in hospitality and tourism. So high turnover rate signals potential problems. And low job satisfaction, poor working condition, or lack of career growth opportunities. These might all affect the high turnover rate. But as an HR analytics person, you should be able to identify the main causes of turnover. What is your company's issue? Why there is a turnover rate? And then you can also develop targeted retention strategies, assuming in return on investment is worth effort, of course. Retention rate, the opposite of turnover. Retention rate measures the percentage of employees who stay within the company over a given period. High retention rate suggests that the organization has strong employee engagement, effective HR policies, or positive workplace culture. The goal is to retain top talent while reducing an unnecessary attrition. Employee satisfaction score is we need to understand that satisfied employees are more engaged and productive, and most likely to stay with the company. You can use surveys and feedback tools to measure employee satisfaction across areas like compensation, management support, career growth opportunities, workplace culture. By tracking this KPI, HR can identify areas for improvement and take proactive measures to boost morale. There are some other things also, such as employee engagement index. Engagement goes beyond satisfaction. It reflects an employee's emotional and intellectual connection to their job. Engaged employees contribute more, provide better guest experiences. So these employees contribute more, provide better guest experiences, and more likely to stay long term if the employees are engaged. HR analytics measures engagement through like pulse surveys, sentiment analysis, behavioral data like participation in the training programs and or internal initiatives. There are several ways to measure this. Training effectiveness is also important. Now, let's not forget, investing in employee development is essential. But how do you know if training programs are working? This KPI evaluates whether training initiatives lead to measurable improvements in skills or service quality or operational efficiency. Businesses can track post-training performance metrics. I mean, like for example, guest satisfaction score. I mean, you train the front desk employees and train them about the improve the guest satisfaction, but if the guest satisfaction scores improved or not improved. And also you can get the employee feedback to assess the impact of learning programs. Next thing is the absenteeism. Now, frequent absences can disrupt operation and signal deeper issues like burnout, disengagement, or workplace dissatisfaction. So HR analytics track absenteeism trends, and also it helps managers to identify problem areas and develop maybe well-being initiatives or some other initiatives to reduce unplanned absences. Now, compensation is, of course, an issue. Are employees paid fairly compared to industry standards? This KPI compares compensation structures to market trends, ensuring that salaries and or benefits remain competitive. Basically, you are comparing your employees, what they get, to the similar companies and what they get. So when employees feel they are fairly compensated, they are more likely to stay and perform at their best. I mean, this is a very basic common sense. Net Promoter Score for employees, adapted from customer NPS. This metric measures how likely employees are to recommend the organization as a workplace. A high employee NPS indicates strong workplace culture and employee satisfaction, while opposite, of course, low score suggests areas that needs improvement. It could be leadership effectiveness or work-life balance. So if the employees are recommend the organization first, you're gonna get more quality employees from the recommendation. Also, your employees means they're gonna stay in your property. So overall, we have to track these KPIs. The key takeaway: what gets measured gets managed, and what gets managed, it improves. So you need to be able to measure it first in order to manage, then to improve. To measure HR analytics effectively, you need a reliable data. But where does this data come from? I mean, businesses don't just rely on gut feelings or assumption, right? You need to collect information from different sources or track performances in order to improve your decisions. These are, once again, a few of the examples. One is the human resource management system. HRMS platforms serves as the central hub for workforce data. This system stores everything from employee records, payroll details, attendance log, performance evaluation, absenteeism trends, and such. You can also use employee survey and feedback tools. Employee sentiment is crucial in hospitality because if the employee engaged, it directly impacts guest experiences. So surveys or feedback tools might provide direct insight. You can tools like pulse surveys, engagement questionnaires, sentiment analysis to see job satisfaction, workplace culture, employee well-being. You can measure many of these things, and of course act proactively instead of waiting for them to leave. Recruitment platform and applicant tracking systems. Efficient hiring is, of course, essential, right? Because we have a high turnover. And because of that, recruitment is an ongoing challenge. So applicant tracking systems or ATS help streamline the hiring process by tracking key recruitment metrics such as earlier we talked about the time to hire, cost per hire, candidate conversion rate, etc. For example, if a hotel finds that it takes too long to fill vacant position, ATS data can pinpoint bottlenecks in the hiring process. I'll just give an example, such as slow interviewing schedule or lack of qualified applicants or issue with the advertisement on of the position. Training and learning management system is another thing. Even if there is a system, you don't have a system. If you're a small, medium business, you can also follow and collect all this data about yourself. But training and learning management system is basically the system that tracks participation rate, course completion, post-training assessment. Like for example, if the restaurant introduces a customer service training programs, this data can show whether employees who complete the program receive higher guest satisfaction ratings, like the example I gave earlier. And last one is the workforce management system. Especially in industry like us, is managing employee schedules can be complex, especially with the fluctuating guest demand. So workforce management system could help optimize labor allocation by tracking scheduling efficiency, shift coverage, or overtimes. So these are some of the examples of data sources for HR analytics. Actually, I have a few more. Next one is the employee performance dashboards. Performance analytics allows businesses to recognize high achievers and address underperformance. These dashboards aggregate data on key performance indicators such as task completion rates, guest feedback, or individual productivity scores. Like just to give you an example, if the housekeeping department sees inconsistent performance across shifts, a performance dashboard can highlight trends and allow managers to intervene what's wrong, and if there is a needed training or process improvement. Exit interviews and offboarding data we are not employing this a lot, but this is important. Understanding why employees leave is just as important as understanding why they stay. Exit interviews provide qualitative insights into turnover trends. It could be interview, it could be a different approach how you're going to collect this data, but you need to find out why they are leaving. Issue with the scheduling and compensation, and whatever the reason. Guest satisfaction is often a reflection of employee performance. Is not traditionally considered as an HR data source, but if the guest reviews, complaint logs, and service quality metrics provide indirect insights into workforce effectiveness, right? So if a hotel consistently receives complaints about slow service in certain areas, then we need to investigate that to see what is going on. And also, I mean, it's related to HRMS, but we also put it separately. Payroll and compensation system. Now, once again, fair and competitive compensation is a major driver of employee satisfaction and retention. So you need to see, to able to understand the salary structures, overtime trends, benefit utilizations. You need to also not only your company, but what's going on with the industry, what kind of changes, right? So if you cannot compete with the industry standards, you're gonna lose your employees to the competitors. Lately, there is also some real-time feedback tools like tools like mobile apps, digital surveys, and even wearable devices are being used to track employee engagement. And these tools allows to collect information directly, but of course there are some privacy issues related to that. In the end, HR analytics is only as good as the data it relies on. So you have to be sure that the collecting data and also being sure that data is reliable is important. It's going to affect the results directly. Of course, HR analytics isn't just about collecting data. It's about using the right methods to turn data into actionable insights, right? So these are a few of the examples in HR analytics, and like first one is once again we talked about this, but the employee turnover and retention analysis. One of the biggest challenge, once again I'm repeating many times, I know, but high employee turnover. Why do employees leave? What can we do to keep them? So hopefully, if you engage in this kind of analysis, that is you're gonna able to identify patterns in employee departures, distinguishing between voluntary resignation and involuntary terminations. There are some statistical methods such as survival analysis, decision trees. If you use them, you will be able to understand the turnover and what kind of retention strategies could be built. For example, This is a very basic example again, but if data shows that employees who work night shifts are living at a higher rate, HR need to explore why, and maybe it needs the scheduling adjustment to improve retention. Workforce segmentation, similar to customer segmentation, not all employees have the same needs, motivation, or performance levels. So workforce segmentation group employees based on characteristics like job function, engagement levels, or productivity, and there are many other methods. We also employ some of the techniques such as K-mean clusters, principal component analysis. Using these, human resources can identify high performance or employees at risk of disengagement. This allows to maybe offer different kind of support for different kind of employees. Similar to customer lifetime value, we need to also talk about the employee lifetime value, right? Hiring and training employees is an investment. And just like in customer analytics, HR needs to assess the long-term value of each employee. So ELV estimates the total contribution an employee makes during their time within the organization. I mean, we can use, once again, many different methods, but like net present value or regression analysis to analyze or compare hiring costs, training expenses, and productivity levels to determine if retaining an employee is financially beneficial. This is normally not possible, but extreme example, if an employee's long-term value is lower than their recruitment and training cost, HR might need to rethink hiring criteria or invest in more different kind of employee development methods. Next one is once again, employee satisfaction and engagement. We repeated this before. Engaged employees are more productive, provide better service, and more likely to stay. So that's why HR Analytics needs to measure job satisfaction and engagement through surveys, feedback tools, and sentiment analysis. There are, once again, many different methods, including sentiment analysis, factor analysis, structural equation modeling. It depends on the surveys, what kind of survey is being used. It could be regression analysis. There are many different methods could be employed, depends on the data and the need for the research question. One other key method is the absenteeism analysis. Frequent employee absences disrupt service quality and increase labor cost. Absenteeism analysis can track patterns in employee attendance to identify potential causes. Once again, it could be job dissatisfaction, burnout, or external factors like commuting difficulties. It could be time. We can use time series analysis or root cause analysis or ANOVA. Like ANOVA can pinpoint the specific factors influencing attendance. For example, if a resort finds that absenteeism spikes during certain months, HR can investigate whether seasonal workload or job stress or scheduling conflicts are contributing factors. Training effectiveness evaluation, once again, we are also following the KPIs sometimes, but repeating maybe, but it's good to focus on these. Training programs are essential in hospitality, but are they actually improving performance? Right? Yes, we are doing those training, but does it really work? So we need to evaluate by measuring employee performance before and after training session. Pre-post analysis, return on investment calculations might help determine whether training investment translates into higher guest satisfaction. So HR Analytics also isn't just about managing employees. It's also optimizing productivity and financial performances. Workforce productivity analysis compares employee output to labor cost to help businesses identify inefficiencies and improve resource allocation. Once again, the reason we are talking about this is because some of the methods like benchmarking, data envelopment analysis, it could be used to help the organizations to compare performance across locations, departments, or even competitors. There is also recruitment funnel and hiring analysis. The hiring process can be complex with multiple stages from job posting to onboarding. Now, recruitment funnel analysis tracks the efficiency of each hiring step, identifying bottlenecks that slow down the process. So we can use funnel analysis and logistic regression, for example. So HR can use them to see which recruitment channels attract the best candidates, for example, or which stage caused the most drop-offs. Just to give you an example, if data shows that large percentage of applicants abandon the process after the second interview, HR may need to streamline or improve the candidate experience. What's happening with this, like the second interview? We talked about the employee net promoter score before. We can use like survey responses with sentiment analysis and regression and basic scores to see the differences between what is going on. We can look at the loyalty and identify factors that impact low or high employee net promoter scores. That's what the sentiment analysis for example. Declining employee NPS could signal underlying issue like poor management or many other issues we talked earlier. And lastly is the service quality analysis, what we call the internal serve qual, like similar to customer analytics, but is internal. Internal serve qual analysis evaluates how HR policies, training programs, and management practices affect guest satisfaction. Using serve qual gap analysis and structural equation model, HR can assess whether employees feel adequately supported in delivering high quality services. If data reveals that frontline employees lack confidence in handling guest complaints, HR can introduce targeted training to enhance service recovery skills. Overall, HR analytics transform workforce management from reactive process to proactive strategy. These are some of the examples we gave and some of the methods we gave. I am also hoping maybe one or two methods I'm going to use as a practical example in the next videos. Okay, thank you for watching.